Simon. This is Wrestling Unlimited, as we have new details regarding the WWE releases that did take place last Friday. Now, since our last video about the releases and the SmackDown review where I talked about this, we have since learned that Carly Bright was also released by the company. She did reveal that on her social media on Saturday. But as far as more details on these releases, Fightful does write the following. The cuts were hugely speculated by talent all week, especially on Friday at 5 p.m. approached. A number of talent began to find out around or before 5 p.m. Eastern that they were released or their deals would not be extended. At about 5:20 p.m. Eastern, we began learning that releases were in fact happening after reaching out to WWE officially earlier in the day and not hearing back. We haven't learned specifics on which is which, but that's why the phrase departures were used. There was also an internal email sent out to some departments notifying them of the departures. Some state that this is not a 90-day non-compete, but instead a 90-day right of termination, and then after the 90 days for main roster stars, their contracts will be terminated. After 30 days for NXT stars, their contracts will be terminated. There's a lot of talk of TKO making the calls for the cuts. Triple H, Nick Khan, and WWE Talent Relations were ultimately the primary decision makers, per WWE sources. WWE sources indicated that the majority of releases were to make way for new talent and the possibility of SmackDown reducing to 2 hours in the near future. WWE anxiously re-signed Santos Escobar last year and then never used him on the main roster again. He's injured and will be sidelined for months. This used to be against the company's policy, but has happened a number of times in recent years, as Carl Anderson, BJ Ray, and Ridge Holland were all released or not extended while they were awaiting clearance. We're told Zoe Stark recently got cleared to return to the ring. There was a ton of shock to Kairi Sane's release, as she was actively involved in the Asuka and Io Sky storyline. There was heavy frustration to her being cut before any real payoff to the story was made. She's expected to land in any company she literally wants to. A number of NXT releases were also made, as new Performance Center signings are expected to be announced soon. Regarding the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley will be without WWE contracts in July, where there are expected to be interest from other companies. TNA sources spoke to Fightful and claimed that there is always a home for them there, but they are expected to go to All Elite Wrestling, where that could be their eventual landing spot. We've not heard if AEW has made contact with them yet. Those that we spoke to in WWE said that the duo seemed like they knew they would continue to do well and stay busy outside of WWE and will continue to wrestle. They also have a band, Grappling, that they will continue to work on. Those we spoke to said that they seemed like they hoped they would wrestle more in WWE, but were happy that they were at least being used. However, that seemed to slow down in recent months. The two were not planning to travel to last week's SmackDown. Now, the interesting thing to look at here is WWE is not calling these releases. They're calling them departures, which is different than how they've been in the past. The difference is that instead of it being a 90-day non-compete, technically, they're just still under contract with the company for 90 days. Now, I don't know what the difference there is, but one person that I did speak to said that the difference could be that, well, maybe because they're technically still under contract for the 90 days, instead of under a non-compete, they can't talk to other companies till that 90 days is up. Previously, with WWE releases, as soon as you're released, you can go talk to other companies, make signings and bookings, but can't do them till after the 90 days. If it is this rights to termination, then, and as far as I've been told, they can't even speak to other companies until that 90 days or 30 days for NXT talent is up. So with that, if we do hear anything further on these WWE main roster releases where the 90 days will be up on, I want to say, July 24th, we'll have it for you right here. Wrestling Unlimited.